All right, we've made it to the finals of the RCO tournament. So, this time we have the Chad yet again making it to the finals, going up against Team Tyrant's Hellscreamer. So, some SEA representation here. Myself, joined by Boulevard as always. We are very familiar with the SEA scene as well, so awesome to see some Tyrant representation here. Chad again going with Tom Rocca, Twiz, and Zoe Aphelios. A little bit of Plaza Guardian action tech in there. And on the side of Hellscreamer, damn, do we got an interesting lineup. Scouts, which is just about where all the normalcy ends there. Darius, Draven, Overwhelm. Gotta love it. We have seen this before. The Rico Rex special, I should say Cephalopod special this past Friday at Fight Night. Cephalopod taking it home with this deck. And to round things out, Cephalopod also played Scouts, by the way. To round things out, Corinna Control. Yes, you heard that right. Corinna Control is back and better than ever. So let's see if Hellscreamer can take a victory here versus Chad in the finals. As always, everything is going to be in the description below. Tournament info, player info, Boulevard's info, all sorts of info. Let's go ahead and get into the finals.
If this man DCs because you twisted his arm into turning on his laptop and streaming out of it at whatever ass o'clock in the morning it is right now.
Yeah. It looks like they're starting the game and he like exited the room. I think his laptop just can't take it. So I'm going to go ahead and head on over. Game one, the Chad Stride, the Chad, Gavone, whatever you want to call him. He's in the finals versus Hellscreamer. Let's go.
And we are going to start off with the Overwhelm up against the Plaza Guardian. This is the matchup that I was most excited to see. After this, we can call it a best of one. We can end the game here. And this is probably one of the worst opening hands we have seen out of Chad all day.
Yeah, this is not looking good. No units in this deck is going to feel real bad. And, man, and to boot, Hellscreamer on top of that probably has, the one drop that you want. Being able to deal 3 damage turn 1. Always going to feel good. And honestly, if we have like a Ruthless Raider that comes down after this, this is going to, I jinxed it.
Oh, that's right. Here I am thinking, we only need one hand. I can just watch on, 60 frames per second Twitch because my computer's good. And then I'm like, no, that's right. I'll get a hit of SJW because he has potato internet.
Wait. Hold on. We are getting some intel here in chat. It is Hellscreamer's birthday. This is a tough one, Boulevard. We got Chad, who 100% deserves to win a tournament. He has been constantly trying to win tournaments, constantly in top cuts. We got Hellscreamer with a birthday boy today. Man, this is tough.
I don't know what it is, but the phrase "birthday boy" is just like so funny to me because
like a grandma saying it's. Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, I know.
Not only that, but it's like I don't know about you, but generally, like if I'm ever talking to someone online and I don't know their age, I tend to just kind of assume that they're the same age as me. And I'm just assuming this almost 30-year-old man in the Philippines. It's 9 a.m. He's been up all night playing Runeterra, and here you are across the ocean going, "It's the birthday boy."
Listen, like what else is there another way to say birthday boy though? I don't know.
No, I don't know. It's just it's a funny sort of scene playing out in my head, and a tragic scene is playing out here on the fields of Runeterra as Chad has to sacrifice the Zoe as well as use a Get Excited onto a Draven. But 13 on turn 3 does not sound like a way to say this is a high life total.
Nope.
But the amount of damage that Chad saved himself there means that he would have been at something like 8.
Yeah, and oh my God, even a Plaza Guardian to start. That feels so bad getting it off of the top like that this early. I mean, all right, so the thing with Aphelios, we do have 2 Aphelios in hand. Aphelios can very easily bring this game back. I mean, we have things like Severum where we have this kind of infinite source of lifesteal if we choose. It's not over, but there needs to be some specific things that happen here, and it's basically hopefully Hellscreamer just not really having a lot more units, and I don't think that's going to happen.
No, it seems pretty unlikely, and I don't know if we're going to iterative this bot or get down the flight. Looks like it is going to be iterative onto the bot, but that is still just a really... Oh, yeah. still have the flight available. I don't know why I feel like I see a 1 mana 2/1 elusive, and I'm like, that's not 1 mana, right? Like a 2/1 elusive, we got to pay more for that.
Yeah, right. Especially because it's the Nexus Strike effect, right? That draw. But it does also trade with the Ruthless Raider, which feels nice, but the 2 damage that the Ruthless Raider is going to do is not going to feel nice.
Ooh, and we pick up the Get Excited to be able to kill a Draven alongside the block on the bot.
Might need to kill the ballistic. I don't know if we can afford to use it on the Draven at this point.
Yeah, it's looking pretty rough here for Chad, which, I mean, we've seen him squeak out some wins out of some really lost-looking situations, so this is probably the most dire one yet, but if anybody's going to do it today, it's certainly Chad.
Don't do it. I feel like we should switch the ballistic bot and the flight here to take less overwhelm. Thank you. There we go. And that feels a lot better. Yeah, we just go ahead, Get Excited. Now the problem, yeah, you kind of need to do that because the problem is Hellscreamer is playing Troll Chance, and
as a
Troll Chant blows this out. And honestly, I mean, you can't really. You could just not go for the Get Excited, I guess, and maybe.
Yeah, So one thing that players, we talk about them not playing around a lot is champion spells, and if a Draven's Whirling Death comes out here, and that's what we got to see at the Get Excited for, that's going to feel like a total disaster for Hellscreamer. But it's just that Culling Strike that you've been talking up all day, SJW. You're going to get rid of a jump blocker and push through the day. You say see like I didn't cast Cephalopod all night last night. Like, you got to tell me.
Hey, yeah, all I'm saying is I am quick to jump. Listen, Cephalopod does something, and I'm quick to jump on it, man. That man knows what he is doing with card games, and feels like he made a really good call that will potentially start to move this meta. So I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see Culling Strack back into the swing of things.
We needed a cheap card for Chad, who, I mean, all right, so we want to talk about the flight. Or we could just Get Excited. I was going to say, if you open attack with the flight, you do have an opportunity to find a 1 mana card that you can play and then get down this Nightfall to Phelios.
All right, is this... Ooh.
And that is the perfect
one.
Things were starting to look up for Chad.
Oh my god. That is the best reaction I've ever heard to a Darius.
Me and Chad were on the same page about what that Darius meant.
Oh shit. I'm out. Get me out of here.
So we are just going to re-queue up the Plaza Guardian and see if we can get this online, but the birthday boy Hellscreamer has been able to pick up a really quick win, and now, SJW, it's like it's your birthday because you're going to get to see this Karina control as well. It was the scouts that were banned, as we had mentioned, would probably have to be the case on the side of Chad because so many of these decks just fold to Stony Suppressor. I know Stony Suppressor is a card that a lot of players have been looking at for quite some time, and maybe this Scouts deck is where we finally crack the code.
Yeah, I mean, Stony Suppressor, it got a lot of playtesting, I think, when it first came out, and then it kind of just, went to the wayside. It's doing a lot of work now, but yeah, against this deck, Karina Control. And I just want to remind everybody, too, this deck removes units like it's its job, okay? It is its job, in fact. A Vengeance and 2 Ruination, and then literally every other removal you can think of in the game for P and Z, and Shadow Isles outside of Vile Feast is a 3 of, except Gotcha. Gotcha's a 2 of. And yes, it is playing Gotcha and Getting Excited. So tons of removal here. I'm very curious to see how any deck really takes a victory versus this Karina Control now.
Well, I mean, so Karina Control is kind of a known deck, right? And obviously there's a reason that it's not super popular in the meta. That being that a lot of the removal that you're going to be playing is going to be a 1-for-1, and something like this Piltover's On deck is going to be able to generate a lot of +1s, and eventually you can just run your opponent out of cards. Now, whether or not you can do that before the Ladros Atrocity starts to come down, because that is not something Chad's going to be able to handle particularly well, you kind of just got to try to go wide around that and kill your opponent before we can get to that turn 9, turn 10 point. Because as you had mentioned, it's going to be kind of a hard task to stick things. We've got to find our advantages where we can, and I think step 1 is going to be finding a pick a card.
Yeah, pick a card. I mean, we have the flight too, which could hopefully dig us, towards that pick a card, so I don't think this will be a terrible play here. But the thing is, all of the units in this deck for Chad are super small, right? And outside of Plaza Guardian, nothing's going to stick. Like, I can't imagine there's anything that's going to stick to this board with how much removal Hellscreamer has.
So, what if we don't try to stick anything and we just say, hey, how do you like 2 ballistic bots? My name is the Chad Stride, and I am the god of the double ballistic bot, and you will feel my wrath. We have the iterative improvement.
I really hope it's going to get Mystic Shot. Yeah, there it is.
Yep, and that's the second Mystic Shot out of Hellscreamer. So yeah, we are going to iterative, which, you know, something that didn't quite come up there is the unfortunate top deck of the flight there, just not an iterative target.
Yeah.
It's going to shuffle itself back into the deck, and you're not really taking advantage of that +1/+1, but this could be the hand fixture that we were looking for on the side of Chad. Find a Poro Cannon with the stress testing.
But Vi going to come down now and get some work done. Oh, here we go. All right, we got Rummage with the 2 Daring Poros.
Oh yeah, this bug. I know that Chad hates this bug in particular, where anytime you discard stress testing with a card that creates card, I think it might just be Poro Cannon specifically. It overlaps it until you play another card.
And this is looking like 6 to the face here.
I would imagine this is a pass. Because if Hellscreamer attacks and then Chad gets down a Twisted Fate, that could be a turning point, especially depending on what kind of removal Hellscreamer's trying to line up onto a TF on turn 6. If we got like a TF blue card here, and then a suit up in response to whatever Hellscreamer tries to do to remove the TF next turn, that's a situation where Hellscreamer can just lose the game.
Yeah, because then you make your way towards a level TF, but it looks like Hellscreamer not going to be concerned about that. I mean, we're just going to go in for the 6 here. I got to agree with you, though.
This kind of reads to me like we have Atrocity in hand already.
Oh, yeah. And that's a big concern, especially with Vi already on the field.
Oh, yeah, there's no TF. Thanks, chat. I'm looking at all these Piltover and Zon cards. I'm thinking it's TF face.
Oh no, it's Zoe.
Yeah, TF's in Targon now.
Zoe Aphelios.
TF's in Targon now.
See, we literally are so used to seeing Twiz now that we see this Plaza Guardian deck and we're like, wait, all right, this has got to have TF.
He took half a Twiz deck and just jammed it in here.
It's definitely just Twiz with Plaza Guardian, right? So, yeah, we are looking like, I don't know, I mean, Gravitum isn't really going to get a whole lot done here. We could push some damage, I guess. But Hellscreamer does still have 6 mana left. Honestly, none of these feel super, super impactful right now. Crescendum could get another Ballistic bot down. Like you were mentioning, Boulevard, but
that's probably one of your better bets.
I think Crescendum is, honestly, I mean, that feels like such a bad choice, but...
So, I'm trying to remember who it was. There was somebody a couple days ago on Twitter. They had posted what was effectively a Karina deck. I think it was more of a go hard list, but like it ran no champions. Zonite Urchin was the only unit, and it ran, you know, it was like a go hard Foundry deck. And they were talking about how this is a deck because 4 of Aphelios' guns are bad against it. And that's kind of the situation that Chad is running into here. Most of your guns just look really bad into a Shadow Isle P&Z control list.
Yeah, because it's just like nothing to target. And anything you are targeting, it doesn't really matter. Now, this is a pretty good attack, though. I mean, on 6 mana, I'm trying to think of how you deal with this board. I mean, a box could be okay. I don't think you actually remove both of these units. Yeah, we're just taking the damage. So, suddenly, Chad, not in a terrible spot because we do have 5 more damage in hand. Not to mention, okay, 6 actually with the Ballistic bot. Things could go the right way for Chad, but 2 mana gotcha, that is not a good way to start things off. And I don't think you want to... I mean, Pale Cascade saves it, but it's not Nightfallen right now, and there's really no good Nightfall activator unless you just toss the Mystic Shot at face. Do you have to do that?
Even that doesn't work.
Oh, no, that won't work either because it needs to be burst speed.
Yeah, stress testing is the only thing you could do to get a Pale Cascade draw. And, I mean, with how ineffective the guns are, do you really care if your Aphelios dies?
I mean, I guess Chad does. I mean, I guess at this point, the problem with saving it...
Gonna get the crescendo.
The problem with saving it is that you're gonna lose something to Vi anyways.
I mean, at least that's the Vi attack for the turn, right? And because we did get Crescendum, we're going to get another Ballistic Bot. And now with this permanent Ignition in hand, you know, we are going to have upwards of, what is that, 8 damage on the next turn before we actually go into combat?
Yeah, I think you're right. I'm very curious if Hellscreamer pulls the Ballistic Bot, or that, yeah, I was kind of thinking the Ballistic Bot was actually more important than the Aphelios because of the additional burn damage.
Yeah, 1 HP Aphelios is something that you clean up with a soft sneeze. Vile Feast, Withering Well, you do that on accident.
Unspeakable Horror, yeah, like it's...
Yeah, there's 3 horror in the list.
So I gotta think Hellscreamer probably feeling like they're pretty safe still. Okay, all right, this kills the Vi. This is really risky.
Oh, he doesn't even run Feast. It's only horror.
Yeah, no Feast in there.
Yeah.
This is
1 damage ping from Shadow Isle, same thing.
I mean, it got rid of the Vi, so I don't hate it. The issue is that's 2 damage that could have gone face, and I mean, I guess with 3 Withering Wail in here, and the 3 Unspeakable Horror, and the 3 Doom Beast, there is a lot of heal, so I don't know if that strategy is really ever going to work for you, but I don't know, it kind of seemed like the only way Chad might be able to take home the game here, and now we just have to worry about hopefully putting on some more pressure again.
It's so hard to look at your opponent's life total, realize that you have something close to exact lethal over the course of a couple of turns, and then just look at the amount of healing that's in your opponent's list and ever think that that is a win condition that you can play to. And we have seen players actually miss out on that win condition because it does just seem so unrealistic, but it's really hard to go back and say, hey, you should have actually gone for this, even though there's almost no chance it's going to work out because you just happen to be in the one situation where it's going to. I think what Chad's going to be looking for is the way that he normally wins against these Freljord Shadow Isle decks, just drawing into the Plaza Guardians, but this isn't the deck to do it. You don't have Twisted Fate. You don't have Pick a Card. You're really relying on Rummage and Stress Testing to try and get through your deck and get to these Plaza Guardians, and Rummage is just going to find another Ballistic Bot.
Suit Up is not bad to protect this Zoe. This is not bad at all. I mean, I highly doubt if this Zoe attacks we get a Vengeance, which means I'm pretty sure Suit Up is going to save it from basically everything. I mean, it would have to very specifically be like a 3 damage played into another 3 damage. Yeah. So we Suit Up this, and there would have to be an Unspeakable Horror, another Mystic Shot, another 3 damage spell.
A box?
No, box.
And this is kind of what we were talking about.
Turn. Yep.
Oh, okay. I thought it came out this turn. So, yeah, pretty likely that the Zoe's going to be able to hit. Like we said, you know, we have a little bit of a read on Hellscreamer's hand. I'm willing to say that there's an atrocity in there just based on the way that the Vi attack had gone earlier on in the game, but okay, we get the super cool star chart, and this could get us. I think Messenger is probably the best thing that you're looking for.
This is good. This is definitely keeping Chad in the game. All right, Moonglow, not terrible to save this Zoe. I don't know. Yeah, I think Trickster might be better.
I actually like Moonglow because if Hellscreamer had a way to kill this Zoe, they would have done it in combat.
Ooh, and if anything, they might have a Ruination in hand. So, actually, yeah. I think this is really good. And we will have Ruination mana next turn for Hellscream. Wow. Man, you know what's weird? I feel like this is the first time I've ever worried about playing around Ruination like the entire day. Like, I think we saw like one Anivia matchup, but like for the most part, we have not been worrying about Ruination.
Generally, when the deck functions a little bit better, Ruination is almost a card that you just can't play against Chat because he just starts throwing down 0 mana Plaza Guardians, and you feel like you just threw the game off of wiping a 4-unit board. You say, oh, this is too juicy of a Ruination to be true, and you would be right, but you have to take it anyway. But unfortunately for Chad, the deck not quite doing what it needs to, and Commander Ladros, if there is a atrocity in Hellscreamer's hand, there's nothing Chad can do to stop that outside of top decking another burn spell to be able to kill the Ladros.
So, knowing there's an atrocity, or there could be... Oh, wow, he's just offering up the pass, I think, assuming we have to... All right, so let's say we get the Ladros and the Doom Beast at attack. Knowing that it's probably an atrocity that you're dealing with next turn, do we just let the Doom Beast hit face? Or no, probably not, just because I get excited and stuff. I feel like that just gives Hellscreamer more outs. Oh, wow, just not even going to attack. Okay, interesting. So we're going to get 2 ignitions still. If we put Ignition on the stack, I imagine that's when we get the Atrocity in response, right?
Probably. I imagine that Hellscreamer didn't go in for the attack because we have the Atrocity. Otherwise, I think that you always like jamming this into a Ballistic bot and then being able to play it again on the next turn. So we'll see nothing because the... Oh, no, the Pale Cascade will be able to draw a card. So can we find an answer? And the answer is no. And that is going to be the birthday boy, Hellscreamer, picking up a 2-0 victory over the Chad Stride. Had a miracle run with his own unique lineup, but Hellscreamer having also a very interesting lineup comes in here, is going to be able to take the victory and claim the RCO 1.5 title.
God, did I start a really bad trend in birthday boy now? Did I?
You did. Absolutely.
All right, so congratulations to Team Tyrant's Hellscreamer taking it home. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. Don't forget to subscribe for more tournament action, as you know, we're pretty much casting a tournament every single week. So as always, everybody stay healthy, stay positive. I hope shit just works for you, and peace out.